Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Live here. And if you've got eyes, you'll realise that I'm not alone. I'm joined by the wonderful, the venerable Felix.
Hello, it is wonderful to be here in video form because we are here to discuss something quite... It feels like every day. Every day we're getting something new about just a leak or something. And this time it's Genki. Genki's been at it at this event. What was it called? CES.
Yes. CES 2025. Yes. Genki, the peripherals manufacturer, they've done plenty of stuff in the past for the original Switch. They did a capture card as well. They've done a couple of capture cards like the Shadowcast. They're of that fame. And they basically came out and went, hey guys, we got some Switch 2 peripherals. This is what they look like on the Switch 2. And they've even got a video that they've published. It's public and everything. And it just shows...
I think we should just look through the video so everyone can see, because
let's just play through the video in real time. Show everyone what the business is. So you see the Joy-Con, you see that little, the catch at the back, it's on a hinge this time. You see the flashing lights, it goes back in, clicks into place. Then we see a charging stand, and then, it's their case, because that's, obviously their focus. But obviously, we're not focusing on that. Spinny, spinny. Whoa! Those little bits slide off, slide on again.
There's a circle. So, is that why it's charging? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, in some ways, a lot of this is what we already have seen in previous images and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's just more confirmation that we're looking at something that it's starting to look like. I mean, it's not confirmed. None of this is confirmed. No. Only when it comes out of Nintendo's proverbial mouth, that is when it will be confirmed. If this isn't real, though, it would be the dupe of the century, I swear.
I mean, what they all could have done is that they've been a fake out there, and they got a hold of a fake or something, and then they just, okay,
it's possible,
this is real, and we're making peripherals for it, and that's what they all have been doing. And then it turns out, whoops, this is actually not real. They might be just making peripherals for something like just, okay, we think this is real, so we're going to make it, because they're getting a lot of clout out of this. And you know how sometimes we can record a video in advance hoping that, okay, this strikes gold, and they can just, but it does look very real. It does, like, it's almost, it's too good to be a fake.
I know precisely where you're coming from. I really do. But we've got to be realistic and say that this still isn't confirmed. I know it seems ludicrous to say that, but that's the truth. It's still not confirmed.
But let's play that this is real, Alex. Let's look through the video and analyze it, because there is well, for one, it's completely black, just like in that leak photo that was recently posted, and we see on the Joy-Con, we see that little sensor. It's blinking red.
The little red blinking sensor that looks awfully... well, I've got one here. Look at that. And that focus was blooming quick. It looks very much like an optical sensor like you get in the bottom of a mouse. Sort of reinforcing the idea that people have that it can be used on its side as a mouse, which is an interesting idea. We've already discussed this at great length. We can also see the much, much larger shoulder buttons and triggers, which would lean into the idea of having something, sort of where... sort of if you've tried and if you're into this sort of stuff and you're excited about the idea of a Joy-Con being used as a mouse, no doubt you've done what we've all done. You've disconnected a Joy-Con from a Switch and you've gone, ooh, let's move it around. That's not too bad, but I wish the buttons were bigger. So that also leans into that idea. What kind of reality are we living in when
Yeah, what is Nintendo actually?
Can't get my head around this.
It feels like everyone it feels like we're gonna have the actual Switch before Nintendo talks about it. It's getting a bit out of hand. It's every day, every single day.
Every day.
I would say I'm a big fan of the color scheme, if that's true. I quite like the Portal colors, as I've seen other people call it. Everything that we've seen before in leaks appears to be here, like another USB-C on the top. We got those like buttons in the side. And it looks to just be another Switch, but bigger. Maybe, I mean, that sensor, it looks to be the new thing on the Switch. We also have a C button, which we still have no idea what that's going to be. I've seen multiple different, people saying it could be chat, but I've also seen people, it could be like a sensor or cursor, you know, for the mouse or like, yeah, it makes, I don't know what it could be. I hope it's chat, because you know me, I would love there to be good chat functionality, and having just a button for it, that seems swell to me. Could also just be capture video. I don't know.
It's possible, but then you'd expect to see it on the other side as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's weird. Are you happy with the next thing? If this is potentially, are you happy with it being this? Did you hope that it was going to be something a bit more...
a bit different?
Yeah.
In some ways, I'm always excited when something new happens, but at the same time, this is what we all expected, and for good reason. The original Switch is fantastic. It's an incredible system. It's just based on very old hardware at this point. I mean, it's still perfectly capable in so many ways. We still have great-looking games coming out, just not as thick and fast as they used to. You know, I long for the days of the likes of Luigi's Mansion 3, for example, but it is, you know, sort of, if you just wanted a more powerful Switch, this is it, to be honest. It also, you know, sort of very much looks like it's going to be bigger. Yeah, I can't say I'm disappointed, but this isn't the way I kind of wanted it to be revealed, if that makes any sense. I would have preferred it if Nintendo had been able to sort of like do it in their own time. But, you know, sort of at the same time, this is just, sometimes this just happens, you know. We knew about the Switch and what it was going to be before it was released. And it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
How much did you know before release?
Oh, quite a lot.
Yeah? Was it also from manufacturers like not Genki, for example, but just other people, or was it just...
Well, the primary source that made us sort of like really pay attention was Eurogamer, and I don't know where their source was. But if Eurogamer are saying this is what it's going to be, you know, sort of you start paying attention, you know. It's still not a guarantee by any means, but you start paying attention. They're a big outlet. But yeah, we knew that it was going to have, you know, detachable controllers, it was going to have a kickstand and all that sort of thing. We knew basically what it was going to be before it was revealed. Nowhere to the same degree as this. We got some people doing renders, but not like third parties. I mean, I think we saw maybe some screen protectors or something coming out, but screen protectors like this in theory, and we know that these exist. They've done other videos. People have recorded them at their booth at CES with the peripherals. They're injection molded, you know, they're not 3D prints or anything like that, or at least that's what one can assume. That's a huge investment for a company in order to make these injection molds.
Yeah, if it isn't real, that would be an insane commitment.
It would. And I've seen a number of people saying, how on earth, you know, are they allowed to do this? And surprise, surprise, by the letter of the law, they are allowed to do this, but Nintendo isn't letting them. A lot of people have been saying, surely they must be under some sort of NDA. And to be brutally honest, the fact that they're showing this suggests that there was never an NDA. Nintendo are not part of this process. So they clearly have got this, the mock-up that they've got at CES, and I've seen some reports saying they've got a working unit, but please do not take anything, you know, sort of as gospel at the moment. It is still a Wild West at the moment. But if they do have a working unit, then in all likelihood they got it through some other means. They won't have got it through Nintendo directly. It could be some, you know, sort of leak in the factory, the manufacturing facility, something like that. That would be my best guess. But honestly, we don't know. But I would put all the money I have in one of my bank accounts, the empty one, that this had nothing to do with Nintendo, and this is just, they've sourced it from somewhere else.
I think it came with a stalk. The stalk came with a Switch and like, hey, go. It's your lucky day. Went to not just Genki, because it's also the fact that we've been seeing it with so many different, you know, manufacturers of stuff. We also had D-Brand showcasing some stuff off. So it's like, it's out there somewhere, isn't it? But yeah, we can't confirm anything until Nintendo themselves comes out and say, hey, this was real, or hey, you all got duped. This was actually, this was not real. We just sent out a fake, and we got you all. We're never working with you again.
I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think the Nintendo would let that happen. I think this is somewhere else on the chain.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, sort of manufacturing facilities. There's, you know, sort of, you know, hugely tight security, but there are always going to be gaps in security. You know, sort of, you'll have, there are reports of manufacturing facilities for other things. I'm not talking Switch consoles. They'll run after hours and then they'll sell exactly the same product, but at a marked down price. They're, these things just happen. It's a big, wide world out there, and you cannot lock things down. And if indeed, we've also seen reports, again, certainly not confirmed, not necessarily unsubstantiated, that Nintendo has made loads of these things and they're all just sitting there waiting. And the more you make, the more likely something's going to slip through the net. So
especially when you don't make an announcement. I mean, if you have all these units, of course, some of them are going to get out there when you don't say a word about it. It's just people want to know. And people want those 5 seconds of fame for being the ones to showcase it first. I mean, it gives us something to talk about, but it still sucks that Nintendo can't take their time and then be like, hey, this is what it looks like. Kind of takes a bit out of the surprise. Luckily, we haven't seen anything about games or anything. That's still well under wraps, which I'm really happy about, because to me, that's what I'm most excited for. The hardware stuff, that is really exciting. I'm very excited to play around and have it in my hands one day. But the games, that's where that's. And that hasn't leaked, which I'm going to jinx it. Tomorrow, we see the launch lineup. It's going to be great.
So when you see the Joy-Con being removed, you see that sort of like lever switch. It's not a push button, it's a lever switch, which suggests it's purely mechanical, which is interesting. And you can see it pushes the peg out. Presumably, that little peg at the top pushes it out. And that's what kind of maybe gives you the force to release it from the system. So rather than, maybe that means therefore that it's not using electromagnets, it's just using magnets, which would make sense, to be honest. And I've seen some people say that if they're using magnets, therefore the sticks cannot be Hall effect, and therefore, stick drift. That is a possibility, of course. It's always possible that they're going to be using standard potentiometers, but you can, whilst magnets do interfere with Hall effect sensors, because they use magnets themselves, you can calibrate around that. So I don't think it's necessarily... It's not a done deal, let's put it that way. So I wouldn't fret too much now, but at the same time, I'm not expecting these to be Hall effect.
I mean, there's also the talks. Well, we made a video recently about that. Oh, that sensor is going to be a mouse, and with that thing poking out, how are you going to have it placing down? It's going to be weird. Do you need it to be in an accessory for it to work, or does it just like press in when you I don't know, because it seems to be always out until it's pressed in again.
Well, again, this is a render, so this could be artistic interpretation. It could just be that they wanted to show that the peg comes out and they really wanted to anything's possible at this point, but I would be surprised if it wouldn't retract.
Yeah, the reason I thought is if they have all these renders, they could have a working model, and then they would just look, oh, it's out, and that's why they would do the render. I don't know. It's all speculation at this point. I think we should stop speculating, because we could speculate. I think we should.
Yeah, we've already covered so much about the Switch 2 and speculative. Not that, not that I want to bemoan that. It's nice to have something to talk about. But at the same time, there's only so much we can say before we just start waffling inanely. But let us know what you think about these renders. Do you think it's the real deal? Do you think it's yet another ploy by Big Daddy Nintendo to keep us all off the scent? Let us know with a comment down below. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, and I mean video... Don't know why I did that. Then why don't you look at the video of that subscribe button? Oh, it's got a face. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
That's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right out of things.